Welcome back to another Real Talk movie reaction. This one is the Grand Budapest Hotel 2014 movie, chosen by you guys for the month of December. We're off to a great start because this is another movie I heard was good, and I'm hoping for the best on this one. It's got everybody in there. It should be quirky, should be funny. Wes Anderson, let's go.
Yeah, shout out to our patrons for voting this as the second movie of the month of December. If you want to take part in some of those polls, suggestions, and recommendations, be sure to check out our Patreon account. You can also gain access to the full reactions of those movies and get access to them before they're posted to YouTube as well. But without further ado, let's jump into this movie right now.
The ultimate legality of this accumulation requires further analysis, but in the opinion of this office, it was Madame D's intention that control of the vast bulk of her estate should be transferred forthwith to her son Dmitri, with special allowances for his sisters Marguerite, Letizia, and Carolina, and minor gifts for various members of the extended family, as shown in the list of recipients, which I will elucidate in due course. However, an additional codicil, delivered into my possession by post only this morning, and by all indications sent by Madame D during the last hours of her life, contains an amendment to the original certificate, which, as prescribed by law, I will read to you now.
Oh gosh.
The authenticity of this document has not yet been confirmed by the presiding magistrate, so I ask that all parties be patient and refrain from comment.
You shouldn't read it then until it's confirmed.
Yeah.
Do you see all the guns in this room? It's crazy.
To my esteemed friend, who comforted me in my later years and brought sunshine into the life of an old woman who thought that she would never be happy again, Monsieur Gustave H. I bequeath, bestow, and devise, free of all taxation, and with full... My cat out the window?
I don't think so. Did you?
I don't think so. Wow. Hey, they're gonna be 15 years.
That's what they said in Shawshank.
Yeah.
There's something I haven't told you, Agatha.
Okay.
I stole a painting. It's very valuable, maybe 5 million klubenks, in fact. I don't know if anyone's even noticed it's missing it, but if something should happen to me and Mr. Gustav...
You steal art?
One picture. Anyway, we need to make a plan for your survival. Hide this. It's in code and you might need a magnifying glass to read it, but it tells you exactly where and how to find Boy with Apple. Don't take less than half the retail asking price. Also,
Zero. I'm a baker.
You're a pastry chef, one of the
I'm
best
not
most
fancy, if that's the term. I don't trade in stolen property.
He said it.
Nasty looking. That's a long ass ladder.
All I'm thinking about right now is Chris on Parks and Rec talking
You get
about
over
the
there.
first time the ladder was painted.
These guys are trying to escape.
What's wrong with you, you goddamn snitch?
God! God! God!
That's the big dude he gave food to.
Alright.
It's you. Thank you, you sweet kind man.
I'm saying, Gustav comes through me with his kindness, babe. And he probably did it on purpose because they do go right by his window, babe.
Okay.
Because he pays attention to all the details.
Motherfucker's crazy. They had to go through the guard room. Tell me, all these guards knocked the fuck out.
They're all like you, they would be. it is high.
That's what the ladder was for.
I would be very nervous.
Man, all them motherfuckers get.
Monsieur Ivan, bitte, danke.
How does one come by front row aisle seats for a first night at the Opera Toscana with 1 day's notice? How does one arrange a private viewing of the tapestry collection at the Royal Saxon Gallery? How does one secure a corner table at Chez Dominique on a Thursday?
Ivan, darling, it's Gustav. Hello. Well, I was until about 5 minutes ago. We've taken it upon ourselves to clear out in a hurry, if you see what I mean. Well, through a sewer, as it happens. Exactly. Listen, Ivan, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're in a bit of a bind. This is an official request. I'm formally calling upon the special services of...
Society of the Crossed Keys.
I'll call you back, Gustav. Right. Stand by.
Oh my gosh!
Look at
Bill Murray.
We're right here. It's very simple. Straight down the corniche, then left. Jojo, see the gentleman out. Get me Mr. George at the Chateau Lux, please.
Is this a concierge secret club in?
Oh, I think so.
Take over. Hello, Ivan.
Skiing, sledding, mountain climbing?
Big play.
I like how they didn't show how he would have to push in each other button now to close it.
Yeah.
Because that would look ridiculous.
Yeah.
By express wireless, I wrote Agatha with instructions to move to our pre-arranged hideout, a gypsy caravan on the outer Nebelsbad Road, while Mr. Gustav and I continued east into the Zubrovkian Alps, toward our high-altitude rendezvous with the butler, Serge X. As a precaution, we disembarked quietly in the freight yard just outside the station.
Perfume.
Then panache.
Fucking perfume. Shouldn't have worn.
Cologne.
No.
It's a hell of a view. I give them that for what it's worth.
I agree.
You ain't got no jacket on, dude. Fucking Santa Slave.
Come on, let's go!
Boy. This motherfucker's crazy.
Babe.
You catch him!
I don't know. He's a homicidal psychopath. Let's stop.
I can't! I can barely steer!
That's his body weight right there. Not in a bunch of games.
Just gotta watch it now. Oh god. I'm dead.
Start.
His successor, and as the war continued, I served my adopted country from the narrow desk still found against the wall in the next room. He was the same as his disciples, insecure, vain, superficial, blonde, needy. In the end, he was even rich. He did not succeed, however, in growing old.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered together.
Nor did my darling Agatha. She and her infant son would be killed 2 years later by the Prussian grippe, an absurd little disease. Today we treat it in a single week, but in those days, many millions died. On the 21st day of the occupation, the morning the independent state of Zubrovka officially ceased to exist, we traveled with Monsieur Gustav to Lutz.
In answer to your earlier question, by the way, of course. Zero asked me about my humble beginnings in the hotel trade. I was perhaps for a time considered the best lobby boy we'd ever had at the Grand Budapest. I think I could say that.
This one finally surpassed me, although I must say he had an exceptional teacher.
Truly.
Truly. It's his phrase.
Yeah, I've been through some shit.
Whence came these two radiant celestial brothers united for an instant as they crossed the stratosphere of our starry window? One from
To be frank, I think his world had vanished long before he ever entered it. But I will say, he certainly sustained the illusion with a marvelous grace.
Are you going up?
No, I'll sit for a little while. Good night. The next week, I sailed for Cure in South America and began a long wandering journey abroad. I did not return to Europe for many years. It was an enchanting old ruin. But I never managed to see it again.
I like the generations, and then it was someone reading his book that he is now, like, it just jumped all the generations.
All right, that was the conclusion of the Grand Budapest Hotel. And while I thought the beginning and the second part was took some getting used to, of understanding what was going on with all the storytelling and players that was involved. But once we got to the last half of it, of the breaking out of jail, always loved that part. The mystery part of the who did it, like Clue, loved that part. Loved the dialogue, the quirkiness of just like extending the time, like when they broke out of jail and they just stood there talking, and then when they killed the guy in the window over the cliff, and they was just talking. That shit right there is just classic funny to me all day, where you just overextend the joke all day. And I mean, this was I don't even know what kind of movie you want to call it. It was just a weird movie, right? It was the different kind of movie. Love the cameos at the end. I know this type of movie and his other movies, Wes Anderson, it's got a lot of cameos. So Bill Maher came through, Owen Wilson came through. So that was really good at the end. I love the allure of the concierge having their own little group network within, just like John Wick got his own little hotels you can go to and get. So that was all good right there. So this was a really good movie. I mean, it had some things that I thought it could probably tighten up better in that for me, but the end made up for all of it. The sewing up of the story made up for all the things that I probably thought that it flawed in, but it wrapped up really good, and that was a unique take on it. So good job, Wes Anderson, and thank you guys for picking this, because I've heard of this before, and the director of his other movies too, and just haven't really seen any of them. And now I know what everybody's been talking about when they make fun of it or they talk good about it, about his Wes Anderson movies. And I can see why, because this is definitely a different take on it as a director, and I liked it. So I mean, it was really good. So thank you guys again, and I'm done.
So I will say I loved it from start to finish. Like, I love a good movie that's able to eloquently tell a story from start to finish. But I thought it was so nuanced in that it went several levels deep. So to me, what it reminded me of is like a Inception type storytelling. So you have like the surface level where it started, and then you go level and level deeper. I just like that so much. I like the way even the nuance of the visuals and how they play that. I thought all of the visuals were really, really good. It had like a even like a at the fireplace candlelight ambiance to it, because there was always this like orange type gleam, which I thought was very interesting to it too. But I like the fact that we started off with the original character who went to his story to what, again, very Inception, getting deeper, deeper, deeper as far as the storytelling goes. I love that aspect of it. And then Gustav and Zero were my favorite things of this entire movie. I
Yeah,
don't know
those two,
if
they did good.
you could say anything. Gustav alone was fantastic. Everything he did in this movie was hilarious. And I agree with you. I love the fact that they had this secret society of concierge that and I loved how that skill set kept coming up and how just being a good person, paying attention to people, having empathy for people, and paying attention and listening, how that can pay off in all these other instances.
Yeah.
I just love that kind of messaging across the board, how empathy and how being a good person can pay off beyond your role in your station. I thought that was fantastic. But ultimately the storytelling, sure, the mystery was fun, but in the way they tied everything up at the end was very endearing and very sweet. But for the most part, the journey of just the way the director took the storytelling was phenomenal. I mean, we had a mystery movie or a mystery murder plus the prison break, which is freaking phenomenal as well.
Mm-hmm.
Plus just the dialogue was amazing, and then to throw in the poetry as well, I just thought was fantastic. Agatha also was really amazing. I mean, the cameos, as you said, were all freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
They were all exciting, and this movie was for me from start to finish was just very entertaining. Was very surprising. Was very unique in its storytelling. So
and I shout out to Wes Anderson on that, because one thing I didn't mention is the violence that he used, and the surprising violence that he used in here was not typical, cheesy, or expected. When he threw him over the cliff, you may have thought that was coming, but
it was just
straight up in
kick him
there.
out.
When he killed Jeff Goldblum with the chopped off his finger, he dead. He done.
Yeah.
When they shoot him up, you shot, you done, right? He did not hesitate on the violence even when they broke out of jail, the knife thing. So shout out to that on that, because that added a different layer to it. This might be a quirky comedy, but guess what? It's some serious stakes going on.
Or threw his cat out and the cat
threw the cat out there. I mean, you don't kill animals on movies. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, but he went there. So, I mean, you gotta give all shout out.
And I will say also, I think this movie would, I am the type of person that does watch a movie 50 bajillion times. I do feel like this movie warrants a second watch.
Yeah, it's way too smart.
Now that you get the pacing of it too,
it's way too smart.
It definitely deserves a second watch through. So, great suggestion. I'm so glad you guys recommended this, because we probably wouldn't have watched it again.
Who killed the lady? Was it the son? Is that what we found out? In the confidential letter? Was it the son who?
The confidential letter was about who in the state of murder would get all of her. It was
so we don't know who actually killed her then. It's probably the crazy guy who's been killing everybody.
But I mean, that's neither here or there.
Oh, okay.
But what I was saying too is just appreciate the recommendation as always. Definitely something that was wasn't even on my radar. I hadn't even heard of the movie, so that's just out of my midst.
You guys are elevating us to a whole nother movie watching level. So we're gonna be straight traveled, as they say, if you do a lot of traveling. But we usually stick to a couple of different genres of movies, but you guys are putting us on so many different.
New good stuff.
Man, we're gonna be just traveled in just knowledge of different types of movies, so I appreciate it.
Great pick. Can't wait for the next one.
Yep. All right, well, look, thank you guys again for watching another Real Talk movie reaction for the Grand Budapest Hotel. And until next time, people, peace.